Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Tyler Ellison, and I am joined by my amazing friend, Marcia. Hello, Marcia, and thank you for being here with me. It's great to have you.
Hey everybody, I'm very happy to be with you guys with this beautiful community and ready for this transmission, the last Q&A for this year.
Yeah, oh, good point. It's so exciting. We are moving into, right, the last transmission for 2021, which is super cool because Ryok's been informing me and many people that as we start to move forward, 2022 and particularly 2023, that's when we're going to start to experience a shift in the transmissions. I know Daryl Anka and Bashar have actually mentioned this, right? New information, new things coming forth once we start to move towards open contact, once we enter into the window. And what Ryok has told me is a lot of the material he's going to start to provide as we get closer is going to be material on specific contact exercises. These are things to be done in groups with people, and it is really designed to help us connect with ETs, not just astrally, but physically, right? To create an energetic environment that is powerful enough to become what he calls a bubble reality, where the reality will then contain greater probabilities relevant to what you prefer. And that's because the bubble reality will be sort of a micro collective reality programmed with your intentions and belief systems. So therefore, certain things like contact experiences, mystical experiences become more probable in this type of micro bubble that's created. So there's a lot we're going to be getting into as we move forward for the window of open contact. More will be announced, but I just wanted to foreshadow that a little bit and make that announcement because this is the last transmission for 2021, right? We are really, I think, transforming in a great way as a species where the stuff we really don't need anymore, the stuff that's no longer relevant, it's getting easier and easier to let it go. And to align with who we are is becoming more and more enticing, more and more obvious, more and more natural and consistent. So I just want to thank you all for being here with us. And it's such a great honor to be a part of this network. You know, I feel that we truly are evolving together. And I feel that intensely when we come together for these live streams. So for those of you that have been coming to these, thank you so much. You make these possible and it's amazing. And for everyone that's new, thank you so much as well. Welcome to this space. And I hope you enjoy the transmission today.
Yeah, beautiful guys. And I guess we're getting ready. We're doing it. We're getting ready for contact now. We're very close to it and we're doing the job, right? We're in the timeline and let's keep going.
Yeah.
This is very exciting time.
Yep. The last thing I'll say on this before we dive in is the first type of contact that's required as a prerequisite for contact with these beings, contact with your own higher self, right? Which is really amazing because that's something that's completely within your control, right? It's like, how do we stay in contact with the higher self? That's the formula, right? Bashar talks about, right? That's it, right? When you scan into your reality and you look for what options are available to you, the ones that light up, that resonate with passion and joy, that's your higher self saying, go that way. When you have a certain idea in your head that is explosive with positivity, that's the higher self, right? When you learn how to detect the frequency behind the things you're experiencing, that's when you can become sensitive to the communication. Because if everything's just kind of the same, you don't have enough discrimination to understand the difference that's subtly there vibrationally between each option. But if you know how to choose your energy state and go into the state of passion, and you know how to feel that around you, then you can follow it like a path. And that's higher self contact. That is what we are all working towards. And in a sense, that's our only job, as far as I'm concerned. That's the only job we have, right? To be ourselves. So thank you all for just hearing the little last tidbit I wanted to share.
Yeah. Beautiful, guys. Well, if you're ready, we can start.
Yeah, we're going to go in. So once more, appreciate you all being here. I'll go into the state and see you all at the end. It is our species' highest joy and passion to be able to interact with you all in this way through this particular channel. How are you doing this day?
Hello, Ryok. I'm very excited to be here talking with you again.
Yes, and we are so excited to be speaking to you in this way as well. We shall now begin to describe to all of you the upcoming transmission that shall be taking place on your date of December 29th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this transmission is titled Avian Acceleration. And in the transmission, we shall describe to you some of the different extra dimensional properties, qualities, abilities that are related to the avian types of beings that you have on your world. We shall also expand upon this and describe to you some information about the species, the extraterrestrial species many of you call the blue avians. We will talk a little bit more about these beings, a little bit about their origin, and a little bit about how they are currently interacting with your world and assisting your world. We will describe to you as well different means of activating within your own energy field avian energy patterns and qualities that can enable you to begin to elevate your perspective in a way that enables the higher self point of view to become more obvious. In addition to this type of avian activation within the energy field can also be utilized for the practice you call astral projection. So both of these things we shall explore in the meditational aspect. We will show you how to utilize the avian energy body as an astral form that you can travel in, and how you can utilize this activated version of the energy field to perceive the higher self more clearly and to also receive information from the higher self more clearly. We're sharing this particular information with you now because the portal of acceleration you are all moving through on your solstice date will remain active for some time. And by the 29th, the energies will be quite high as you move towards your new year. And through utilizing some of the meditations and ideas that we share, you can more powerfully accelerate into your new cycle and guide yourself like a bird being guided by the electromagnetic currents of your planet. So we look forward to delivering this transmission to you all on your date of Wednesday, the 29th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now we make ourselves available to each of you for your questions, comments, and curiosities.
Yay, that's very exciting. I'm look forward to hear your perspective about that blue avian knowledge. I'm very excited about that transmission.
Yes, yes. It will connect for many of you a great deal of dots, and you'll begin to understand more about your own history through understanding the avian beings as a symbol. And we'll leave that there for now, but many dots will come together through the transmission.
Awesome. First question is, I heard that it is very likely that we will experience a mini ice age relatively soon. Could you please speak about this from your perspective?
It represents a possible parallel reality that can be selected. As you know, many of the versions of Earth that you have available to you contain frequencies of environmental imbalance. Some of those versions of Earth, the environmental imbalance is only slight. On some of those versions of Earth, the environmental imbalance is extreme or is greater. So that type of experience truly depends on the version of the collective that you are aligned with. So recognize that you get to determine that through your own personal frequency. Because remember, it doesn't really matter what's going on around you. It matters what you do with that, how you respond to that. So even if you see destruction around you, on your news or in your streets or in your neighborhoods, the idea is to use that contrast as inspiration for you to demonstrate the reality that you prefer in your own unique way. So that might mean picking up garbage that you see. That might mean composting food scraps. That might mean recycling. That might mean gardening. That might mean planting trees. When you embody the qualities of the preferred Earth, that's what you shift to. And on that version of Earth, there are no environmental catastrophes because the environment's in balance. So when you act that reality out presently, regardless of what is happening around you, you vibrationally tune yourself to that reality. And it's almost like the reality you're tuned to then begins to funnel energy into your own personal experience. So even though around you, you may experience examples of destruction or imbalance, in your own bubble, in your own reality, that will not be the case. And the idea is eventually the reflection externally will shift, will change. And should you be still maintaining that preferred frequency, you increase the probability that what the external reality changes into will match the energy state you're in. But remember, we are speaking in a way that is, let's just say, a little lower in perspective than how we actually see things. Because the idea is you're not changing the world around you at all. You're maintaining a certain vibrational frequency, and that then allows for you to shift from parallel world to parallel world to parallel world. That creates the experience of the same world changing, but really it's different worlds that you are sequentially moving through that create the illusion of change. And you are doing that through the vibrational, energetic state that you maintain. So the more you maintain that preferential state, and the more you act it out through some of the things we have mentioned and other ways, of course, your own higher self will share with you new ideas. The more you do these things, the more of that version of Earth you will see in your collective.
Great. Next question is about the Anunnaki.
All right.
The Anunnaki, they want to know if the Anunnaki beings are still interested in humans and communicating with us. If not, when was the last time they did and why did they stop?
They have not stopped. It's just many of you have forgotten how to listen. That's all. So remember, you are genetically connected to the Anunnaki. So there is a telepathic link between you, your species, and the Anunnaki. And that genetic link allows for a telepathic link between you and the Anunnaki to be present in the background. So even though you're not aware of it, you are telepathing with Anunnaki beings on the genetic level. So there's communication that's happening, that has been happening, that has not stopped happening. And the Anunnaki are not the only beings that telepath with you through the genetic link. For as you know, the Anunnaki were hybrids. So there are a great deal of other species that you are all connected to as well through that genetic link. It's all about becoming more aware of that connection, bringing your attention inside the body, meditating upon the sense of darkness and spaciousness. And as you sink into that inner infinite realm of space and stillness, you will begin to perceive sensation if you go deep enough. A great deal of the sensation that you perceive when you go deep within yourself is actually stimuli coming from the DNA and those genetic links. This is why sometimes people will have something like a past life memory or something like this emerge when they go deep enough into themselves, because they begin to access the genetic information that is being communicated to them across space and across time. So the Anunnaki still work with all of you, some of you more than others. Some of you have worked with Anunnaki beings, but you do not know them as that. You might identify them as a different symbol, like an angel. That can happen and has happened. So they're still around. They still work with you. It's just that as a species, as a collective, they have moved on from the earth. They have gone to other worlds. Because remember, they came to earth for a particular reason, extraction of resources. That was the main reason they came to earth. Now understand, Gaia had the desire within her for an evolved hominid species. So the Anunnaki, detecting this, recognized that they could interact with Gaia, produce the species desired, and could also have their own desires met. That last part wasn't really something that they made abundantly clear in their acceptance of the invitation. So in a sense, there was a level of taking advantage of the situation that occurred on the end of the Anunnaki. But the reason they came was twofold: for resources, and the other reason was to assist Gaia in developing a new type of humanoid species. So once they achieved both of those things, they then physically moved on. So their current existence, let's just say qualitatively, has improved for them. They have learned a great deal through all of you and through the different challenges and experiences that they had along their journey. And they are now, in many ways, learning from more advanced civilizations on how to more positively interact with the natural world and resources so they can create a more harmonious civilization for themselves.
Very interesting. Thank you for that.
Yes, of course.
Next question. Do you have any more exercises for working with Moldavite besides adapting the meditation you gave?
Well, there are many different ways to work with it. It all depends on how you wish to work with it, but for purposes of what you call clairvoyance, the Moldavite can be gazed into. So the idea being is position the Moldavite at approximately eye to nose level so you can lightly gaze upon it. You can even imagine that you are breathing the color green from the Moldavite into your eyes and then exhaling from your eyes back to the Moldavite. This will activate different properties related to clairvoyance. It can be quite powerful, so start small. And then at a certain point, if you wish, you can then activate the clairvoyant property and ability once you have charged your eyes with the green light by imagining with your eyes closed the Moldavite in front of you. Picture it, see it, and then begin to imagine that from your third eye, you extend and travel into it like it is a window, like it is a door, like it is a portal. And once you have traveled into it, continue to go forth psychically into that space that represents the inner consciousness of the Moldavite. Go in and in and in until you feel you are at the center of its consciousness. And once you have extended into the center of its consciousness, take a moment to psychically perceive what is around you. Because you have worked with the third eye as the means of projection, and because you will have at this point already charged your eyes with the green light, your clairvoyant skills will be heightened. So it's likely you'll be able to receive a great deal of visual information. You may see other beings. You may see the Moldavite personified as a being, and it can actually teach you. You can have conversations with it. So this is another way you can interact with the Moldavite. But begin simply with the color breathing, using the eyes, inhaling the green light from the Moldavite into the eyes, exhaling from the eyes back to the Moldavite. And as you do this, simply use the intention, activate my clairvoyant abilities, and that will charge them with those properties. And that's another way to play with that particular tool, the Moldavite.
Awesome. Love the exercise. Thank you again.
Okay. You're very welcome.
And next question, is your ship orbiting Earth? If it is, which location are you most connected with?
My ship moves around quite a bit. Because of my relationship with the channel, I am frequently within the atmospheres of your planet to maintain a stronger physical link with the channel, which reinforces the telepathic link. So at times I will be physically in the skies above his local area. Oftentimes this occurs early morning around what you call 3:33 a.m. so he can receive different vibrational attunements and adjustments. Also, I frequent the area you call Bell Rock. I also will travel to many different locations across your Earth, bringing hybrid children with me. And we will oftentimes go on adventures, expeditions that enable us together to learn about your planet, the diverse ecosystems and forms of life that exist both physically and extra-dimensionally. So we have gone to what you call your Amazon rainforest. We have explored there, both in the skies, but also in the jungle itself. Sometimes my craft is also underwater, under your oceans. And this has to do with, again, different types of expeditions, for there are different types of portals that exist within your oceans that my craft can utilize for travel in different ways. So we are literally all over the map. But the places we have specified by name represent some of the major areas that I spend my time while interacting with your world.
How can I tell for sure if I have a future self incarnated in the Esasani civilization? And how do I contact that future self?
All right. The key here is imagination. That's the key to accessing what you call the astral realm, the higher realms, the spirit realm. You access that through the idea of your imagination. So what we would encourage you to do is relax, use your breathing to really guide your body into a deep, calm state. And from here, from this place of relaxation, simply begin to imagine in front of you a member of my species. See this person in front of you. And as you breathe, imagine that their form gets more and more solid, more and more real. Make their form as clear and as descriptive as you possibly can. And after about 10 breaths or 20 breaths of really honing in on this form, begin to imagine that it can speak to you. It can share information with you. Simply begin to interact with the form psychically. You can inhale a greeting or a specific question into your heart, and as you exhale, send it to the form. To understand what the form says in response, imagine you're receiving it. Just use your imagination and say, if this being were speaking to me, what would they say? And let yourself imagine their words. At first, it might seem like I'm just making this up. I'm just imagining what they are saying. What you are doing is you are taking an action that represents acting as if you are genuinely receiving the communication, which creates an opening for a genuine communication to come forth. So just by imagining you're receiving contact, just by imagining that this being is speaking to you, you will receive genuine words. You will receive genuine contact. And that's a way you can begin to initiate communication. Now, when you first do this, you may first begin working with your higher self. It might present itself as another being, and that's all right. Because understand, the higher self level is, in a sense, a prerequisite that is required to clearly perceive our species, because that's the level we operate on. So when you first begin this, if you're still merging with your higher self, if you're still integrating that, the idea is the higher self may be what you connect with first, but it will guide you, it will instruct you, it will inform you, let's just say, just as an advanced multi-dimensional being would. So it will function identically. So
all right,
don't get too hung up on if it is the higher self or if it is a member of my species or any other. In relationship to your own personal connection, you do have members of what you would call your oversoul that exist within my species, within my society. Yes. So this is an exercise you can do to begin to initiate contact. So play with it, have fun with it.
All right. Could you please explain what Ra's teaching about the harvest at the end of this cycle actually and physically entails in terms of what we've agreed to experience as a collective?
All right. We're going to talk about this very neutrally because some of the terminology here can create, let's just say, different types of impressions that perhaps are not very clear. So understand, what is being called the harvest represents a point of completion. That's all it is. Think about it agriculturally. You plant the seeds grow into a plant, and when the plant is ready, it is harvested. So it's talking about the end point in a cycle. That's all. That's all it is. The idea being is you are all like plants. You are all like seeds. You are all like nature. You have, in a sense, been germinating. You have been growing. You have been developing. You have been expanding. You have, in a sense, been preparing for another level of experience, for another level of reality. And now you're at the point where you take the step. This solstice gateway represents one major point within what you call the harvest, the completion stage. Your new year also contains elements of this. And that time will also be energetically relevant as you move through January for a little bit. But very quickly, you'll see as you move through January, you're in a different reality. You'll see it. It will be obvious. And that represents the new level. So a harvest is just completion to prepare what has been harvested for its next level of experience. So it's a point of transition. Old reality to new reality. So how that look will be different for each and every single one of you. But if you recall what we have described as the splitting prism of parallel realities, we mentioned that in the years to come, it will be abundantly clear you are in your own reality. It will be abundantly clear that what you put out is what you get back, because there will be such little space and time between energy and manifestation. It will appear as if you are instantaneously creating your reality. So that's what you're moving into. That's the next level. If you choose to use the next level in that type of way, that's what it can be if you align with these energies. So in general, that's what you can look forward to. And of course, you're doing all of that right now anyway. It's just a matter of becoming more conscious of this, and through becoming more conscious of it, using it in a more preferred way as a form of preparation and practice for what is to come. For again, in the upcoming years, things will manifest very rapidly. So honing in on how you are manifesting can serve you quite positively as a form of adaptation to those new energetic changes you are all creating.
Next question is your current incarnation overlaying with the entity we know as Bashar from a linear time perspective?
Yes, I am existing in the same time frame as this being, absolutely. We are contemporaries in that sense.
All right, next question is, how can I deal with jealousy, obsession, and sexual desire in a more balanced way for life? Any advice?
Well, these are three different things that have entangled together. So the first thing is to recognize that within the chaos, within the sense of discomfort, there is a still point. There is a dimension of self that is unaffected by anything and everything. It eternally is. There's a center point within you that contains those qualities. It represents what you might call your own personal divine spark, your own microcosmic expression of source. That exists within you. It is unconditionally present within you, always there. It's like you have a temple inside of you, a sacred temple you can always go to for healing, for shelter, for guidance, for nourishment. That exists in you. So the key is when these things come up, do not entangle with them. Watch them, observe them like a scientist, like a researcher. So sexual desire comes up, instead of grabbing it, just look at it and say, oh, how interesting. Wow, look at that. Jealousy comes up. Ooh, did you see that? Look at that over there. Wow. And through changing how you respond to these things, you will dissolve the negative attachment to them. You'll dissolve the sense of patterning. And from that place of interest and astonishment, you'll find it's then very easy to feel that center point within you. And from the center point, you can then choose to say, I let go of all jealousy. I let go of the negativity that I am carrying. I forgive myself for any harm I have done, intentionally or unintentionally, in my process. I put this down. I let this go. And from that place, begin to inhale. And as you exhale, just imagine the earth below you, and imagine you're giving all of this to the earth, and that the earth is lovingly taking it, because the earth can compost it and can assist you in transforming those energies into passion. And that is alchemy. Change how you respond to the stimuli. And you will create an entirely different reality, an entirely different effect, and an entirely different timeline for yourself. So that's what we would suggest as a means of practicing getting in touch with your ability to let go, to release. And once you feel you have really put those things down, from that neutral place of allowing, apply the formula. Open your eyes and then say, all right, what's the most exciting option I have available to me? Observe that option, select that option, perform it to the best of your ability with zero insistence of any particular outcome, and remain in the positive state. Continue to go. And when those things come up again, the jealousy, the sexual desire, whatever it is for you that perhaps feels overwhelming or perhaps distracting, just repeat the process. That's all. Change your relationship to these things. Ultimately, these things seem to be problems because they are judged. That's why these things manifest as problems. So the judgment is also what we talk about as the negative belief system. So from that place of allowing, accepting, and releasing, you will free up so much space within your consciousness. Very quickly, you'll be able to see whatever the judgment is. Feel into it. Ask yourself, why am I judging jealousy? Why am I judging sexual energy? And just stay curious, stay open, and you'll find some kind of judgment, some kind of negative opinion is revealed. And put that down, let that go. And as you let go of those belief systems that are engendering those sensations and judgments, you will find that you can more holistically move forward and disentangle completely from that type of reality.
All right, next question is, what is sound? I feel I listen to music with all my body, not just my ears. Why is that?
Because sound is nothing more than the idea of vibration. It's just that your ears possess the ability to translate the vibrations in some very unique ways that you understand as the major sounds and minor sounds that you experience in your physical reality. So your ear is nothing more than a vibrational translation device. But that's what sound is. Sound is just vibration. All things are fundamentally vibration. And this is one of the reasons why music and musical therapy and musical healing can be so powerful, because the music itself is working on that underlying vibratory level that makes up all things. That's why it's one of the highest forms of mysticism and magic, and has been for some time for your species, because it's working at that level, at that vibratory level, where new patterns can be written. And many of you experience this. You may be feeling a certain type of way and you put on a positive song, and it's like everything has changed in but only a few moments. And it's because you are altering the underlying vibrational level of the experience through the music.
All right. Can you comment on the 9 personality types of Enneagram? Does your civilization have a similar category process?
We do have a similar type of process that is taught to many of our youth. However, it is based on the idea of 10 major archetypes. Much of it is adopted from the archetypal understandings that your species has. And that is because, again, we are, in a sense, the descendants of your people. So we have adopted many of these things as well and have incorporated them. These archetypal constructs at this point exist as a form of energy within our species' collective consciousness. So at a certain point in our journey, when we were less telepathic, this type of, you could say, categorization was taught specifically as a tool so the children could understand more about themselves and some of the different potentials contained within them. However, as we became more and more telepathic, we no longer really needed to teach anything. So now this archetypal understanding exists in a sense as a part of our collective consciousness. So when beings are born into our species, it's instantaneously understood. But yes, we do have this. We will share more about it at another time, for then it may become relevant. But yes, it is there. Remember, archetypes, which the Enneagram system you're referencing is also based upon, represent fundamental patterns. So as we have talked about earlier, the underlying level is, again, vibrational. The archetypes, in a sense, are the calibrators and organizers of how everything vibrates. Archetype in your Greek translates as what you call original pattern. So this is one of the reasons why our species has created an archetypal system because it can enable individuals to really get in touch with their own unique original patterning. That's one of the benefits of understanding one's archetypal nature. So it's just a system, but it is a system that your consciousness is based upon. So it can be useful to understand.
Could you share some tips and exercises we can do to maximize our acceleration as we approach the solstice?
Time in nature is key. This is very important. So that way you can absorb into you from your natural environments the fresh energies that your planet is siphoning in. That is designed to, again, do just what you have asked. Raise your frequency for the acceleration. So spend as much time in nature as you're able to, just deep breathing in nature, imagining you're taking in light. You can imagine that you are breathing through your palms, through your soles, and you can imagine while you're in the forest, you're taking in golden light from the trees, from the ground, filling yourself with gold. This is something you can do in nature that will charge you up with the frequencies of Earth, with the frequencies of what you call the soil level of your Earth, to ground you, to root you, but to also assist you in maintaining neutrality in your point of view. So as you come across the things you are being asked to let go of, you can then, from a neutral place, respond in a preferred way. So time in nature, breathing exercises in nature, and creating for yourself some type of expressive permission slip, some type of expressive process. This could be journaling, this could be drawing. It doesn't matter, but create for yourself some type of expressive process you can engage in daily. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as you're expressing yourself and you feel an interest or resonant link between you and that form of self-expression. So these are basic things that can be done to prepare you for this. And the process of letting go is really something we would encourage maximizing your relationship with. And your time in nature can assist you with this, because as you know, leaves from the trees will fall to the ground and the earth will break them down. So the earth can also assist you with this. The earth can assist you in releasing and in letting go of whatever it is you wish. So letting go of the things that no longer serve you and lightening up will assist you in moving into the next chapter. So while you're in nature, while you're breathing, spend some time exhaling down. And as you exhale down, imagine you're just letting go of whatever it is you need to let go of. And as you inhale up, going back to the golden light, you can imagine you're pulling golden light up. And imagine the golden light contains within it the new self, the new you, the preferred version of yourself. So letting go of what no longer serves as you exhale, inhaling, filling your body with light, charging up with the frequencies of the new you. And these are some things that can be done in nature to assist you in really being grounded, clear, and open for what is to come in your new year.
Next question is, what is the importance of the sun and how people can get it during winter times?
All right. The idea is that the sun is the primary source of life, as you understand it, for your world. Essentially, all things on the surface are nourished by the idea of the different photonic frequencies of energy that it shares with all of you. So there are many different physical dimensions to the sun's role, and your physical sciences have explored this quite thoroughly. There are also many energetic aspects to the sun's function and purpose, and this has to do with incarnation. For understand that new souls whom are traveling to the earth for an incarnational experience will pass through the solar gateway contained within your sun as a type of vibrational attunement and adjustment to prepare them for the Earth experience. So they can have, in the early start of their life, abundant levels of energy. That tremendous energy you see in children when they are developing, that is a solar energy that they have absorbed prior to incarnation. It also allows for souls that pass through the sun to absorb in what you would call collective memory or memory imprints, let's just say, that are related to the collective history of your species. Because all of your ancestors have seen the sun, have exchanged energy with the sun. Therefore, the sun contains within it a record of all things that have ever taken place on your planet. So a new soul will also be exposed to this information through passing through that solar gateway. And the sun also funnels in energies from neighboring stars and processes them into a form that is absorbable psychically for all of you. So you can receive upgrades from the other stars that are a part of the galaxy in a way that is more down to earth, so to say. So these are some of the major properties of the sun. We have not exhausted the list. There's many more. And in general, what is important is to expose yourself to sun in the morning, even if it's only for 10 minutes. Allow for yourself to get at least 10 minutes of sunshine each day. Morning time is ideal. This will really catalyze your day in a special way. Just as we have talked about with the new soul incarnating into the Earth experience, it absorbs the solar energy and it utilizes that energy to empower a great deal of its youth. Capturing the morning sun is like doing the same thing, but for your day. So that's something we would encourage. And the idea is, even if you live in a colder area, the sun can be warming. So just ensure that when you are interacting with the sun, you are in fact in the sunlight, so you can be warmer. Dress appropriately, do what you have to do. You don't necessarily need a great deal of exposure. Getting the sun into the eyes, onto the head, these things are important. The hands can be charged with the sun. They also are capable of absorbing in energy. So you don't have to take off a great deal of layers to expose your face, your head, or your hands to it. And morning sun is, of course, quite gentle. So for those of you with sensitive skin, this may also be appropriate as well.
All right, just a time check. It's 12:58 your time.
All right. We thank you all for your participation in this exciting co-creative transmission this day. We look forward to speaking to you all once more at our upcoming transmission, Avian Acceleration. Our species, unconditional love to each and every single one of you. All right.
Hey, welcome back, Tyler.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be back. I hope you all enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too.
Yes, it was an awesome transmission as always. And thank you everyone for your questions. There are lots of questions. We can't get everyone, but it was a very nice session, very interesting one.
Excellent. Perfect. Perfect. Well, my friends, thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to catching up with you all at the transmission, and I hope you have a beautiful day. And if you're celebrating the holidays, have a wonderful celebration. I hope your time with your families, your friends, your pets, whoever it is you're close to, is beautiful and fun. And if you don't have many people close to you, I hope beautiful people come into your life so you can feel loved and nurtured during this holiday season. So I, perhaps while I'm traveling, may share little bits on my journey, perhaps while I'm on the road, just to feed energy into this sort of collective holiday celebration. So stay tuned. There might be some surprise holiday releases. But again, thank you everyone for being here. Marcia, thank you for being with me and for doing such a great job taking the questions and sharing your presence with everybody.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for being this channel. And happy solstice, next solstice.
Yeah, coming up through, oh man, right around the corner, 3 days.
Yes.
Well, yeah, 4 days coming up. Oh
4
man,
days.
4
Yes.
days. Yeah, so exciting. Well, I'm going to sign off, but I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.